All right, y'all, welcome. Yes, we are live. Welcome to Sipping on Neek, the Color Chronicles. I am your host, Kat Williams. And always here on Sipping on Neek, we feature the best the LGBTQI community has to offer. And with that being said, tonight's guest is self-described petty Black feminist and womanist, Girl Complex. Welcome, Girl Complex, to Sipping on
Hi,
Neek.
thank you.
Thank you. We've had so many issues tonight, y'all. We're gonna have a good time this morning. I keep forgetting the time difference, and that's the problem. That there is a huge time difference. It is nighttime here, and it's morning time in the rest of the U.S. So I was a little bit off, but we are working with it, and we are here. And again, welcome, 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 one and all, and our featured guest, of course, Girl Complex. And we'll get into the name and all those things. But as always, here on Sipping on Ink, we start the show out with the easiest question of the day, and that is, who is Girl Complex?
Who is Girl Complex? Well, as a little bit of the bio said, petty Black feminist. You'll never see a Black girl that rides as hard for San Diego because there's only like 5 Black girls from San Diego, but I ride so hard from San Diego, all day San Diego. I am Miss Alameda County Leather. It was a leather pageant, 2016 and 2017. I won the largest women's contest. I'm International Miss Leather 2017. 2 years later, I founded this little thing back here. You see the Unruly Social Club. So yeah, I'm the founder of the Unruly Social Club. I am a wife, a mother to the dog, best friend, girlfriend, handler, granddaughter, niece, cousin. Yeah, all those things. So
All
yeah,
those
that's me
things.
in a nutshell. Oh, book nerd, book nerd.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into the book thing because books are my thing, and if you mention books, we're gonna have to talk about that. So,
Right.
but first, you've told us who you are, but why the name Girl Complex?
So, girl complex. I am in the leather community. Usually, when using the name girl, usually means you're in a submissive role. I have a capital G because submissive is not what I can be. However, to my daddy, if I had a submissive bone in my body, it would go to him. But the G is because of the capital brat, so it's capital G. And also the word complex. I was talking to a friend of mine about watching some hentai, and he's like, "Are you serious? You like hentai?" I was like, "Bro, yeah, I like hentai." He goes, "I don't know if you're being truthful or not." He goes, "You're so complex," and I was like, "I like that," so I picked up the name Girl Complex.
Okay. Wait.
And it also works as sometimes I present a little more feminine with a mask. It works.
I was expecting like this. I don't know. I really don't know what I expected the answer to be. I thought it was going to be really, truly like this deep, philosophical, but I get both words and how they fit you, though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it was
yeah,
like, oh, Anandra, you're just looking too deep. When she
yeah.
said,
But also it works out because I use a diamond as one of my logos, and as a diamond, I used to say I'm multifaceted like a diamond. Complex. So it also works as well.
it does. So we found out who you are. We found out what the name means because, of course, I had to ask that question. Because again, like I said, I was going for all this deep. I was expecting, we're going to write a thesis together tonight on your name. But I like the simplicity of it all, and I like who you are. You said you're a mother, a wife, a granddaughter, a girlfriend, a handler. We're definitely going to get into the word handler. But on this episode of Sipping on Ink, what I feel like when I was doing research about you, I felt like you were going to be teaching us on this episode. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I want to learn, and I
Right.
figure if I want to learn, I can go to a good source such as you, and you could teach me and everybody else who's tuning in today about a little bit about you and what you do, because you are complex and you're outside of the norm. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? And I like to think that I'm deep, but I
Yeah.
ain't. I'm deep in a shallow pond. So so, and I feel like you're gonna teach me a little bit today. So if I'm asking you questions and it seems that way, please,
Okay. No problem.
school us, sister. Let's first start
No
out
problem.
with kink. Define kink for me.
Ooh, kink. Kink. How would I define kink? For me, kink is something that I need extra. for me to get to where I got to go when I'm having sex or something like that. Um, it could be something that it's pretty much anything that Ike says, anything that's not missionary, because I'm not into missionary sex. Like, so I'm into like, I like to choke my girlfriend sometimes. I like my daddy to choke me. Um, and that usually kind of adds a little extra layer to it for me,
Hmm.
which is essential. Not always essential, because I don't always have to do all these things all the time, because a girl got time. I got 15 minutes sometimes, so we got to get in, get out. We ain't got time for all this other stuff. So yeah, something that makes me tick a little differently than most folks. And I walk around proudly saying, well, I kind of like my sex a little bit like this. I'd prefer it more like this as opposed to what you see on TV or people doing, basically.
Okay. And that's your definition of kink. And now,
For me.
yep,
Yep.
gotcha. And that's what I wanted. I wanted your definition because this of course is going to lead to the next question. And sort of how you introduce yourself. You say you're International Miss Leather 2017 and Pantheon of Leather 2018 Woman of the Year. I don't know what those titles mean. So can you tell
So
us what those mean?
yeah. So International Miss Leather, International Miss Boot Black is so we're going to speak as the world is still going on as it was going on prior to this.
Yeah.
It is the largest women's leather fetish event in the world. Of leather women from all various shapes, sizes, races, orientations to come out to compete for a contest, and you kind of win like Miss Leather pageant, more or less. More or less is what I call it. And then I get a partner, and I get International Miss Boot Black. That's a person who takes care of the leathers, holds them to the story. We like to make a joke. The Imsels, which is what I am, we just stand and wave and look pretty, and all the Boot Blacks have all the common sense and know everything and do everything punctual. We just stand and look. I have no thoughts going through my head most of the time, but that's cool. I just stand and look. So yeah, that's what it's probably a leather pageant. The only thing I could say, like a Miss America for leather folk, more or less.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
And because I won, I can call it a pageant. I will not be offended by pageantry of it all. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the experience like for you? I mean, to
It
win.
was crazy. It was crazy. I competed with 7 other folks, and for the IMSL, the folks with the IMSL name, we had one of the largest classes. I had to do a speech, a fantasy. I had to do a pop question. I had to teach a class on
Wow.
something, anything, in front of people and get judged on it. So and I'm not competitive at all. I don't like competitions. I don't like the pressure. I don't like it, but I did well. I did well. I won, so I did okay.
You're not competitive?
No, I don't like that pressure. I don't like that energy. Folks like I'm on the beach. I'm like, you have at it. Have at it. I don't. Yeah, don't like it. I don't like that pressure.
Hmm. We're Facebook friends, of course, and so
Yeah.
I read your posts because they're interesting as hell. And I see a little bit of the other side of life. And some of my Facebook friends, I actively go to their page and read what they're saying and things like that. I may not comment, but I'll hit an occasional like, a love, and things like that. And I do tend to see your posts quite a bit because I am looking. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten from that you weren't competitive because you seem to be very in your face.
I'm very proud and bold about who I am, but there's no competition in it. I believe in my
Okay.
product, and if I don't, no one else will.
Oh, all
I
right.
know my product is the best. I know my product's the best out there. No one else can do it better. So I'm very confident in who I am. No competition, because what I got, you can't beat with. So no need to compete about it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, okay. So let's bring in the petty black feminist and womanist to this. Being Miss Leather, is this the norm that there are black women who are doing this,
Yeah,
or? Oh, okay.
yeah. It is a norm, and I want to make sure that folks know it's the norm. Like we out here. Most people don't recognize us because they're not into us, and that's cool. We don't. That's cool. We probably not into you either. But yeah, we out here. I'm making a whole club for us out here. So yeah, there's a lot of us out here.
That goes into my next question for you. What is the Unruly Social Club?
The Unruly Social Club is the premier leather fetish and kink club for non-male identified folks of color. I say premier. We're the best one on the market. There's others. We the hottest. I say we're the hottest because that's mine. Believe in your product. If you don't believe in your product, no one else will. Um, So to be a part of my club, we're working on bylaws so you can join up and get a patch. You must identify as something other than male, and you must be something other than white. There is no club like it on the planet, as we will not be allowing white folks to join our ranks as an associate at all. We will only be allowing men of color to be associates. So far, right now, we will be the only POC club rocking, I think, on the continental US that is exclusively POC and exclusively non-male at this present moment.
So, when I was reading about it, and I expected that answer, I gotta say, why? Why does the unruly social club have to exist?
Why does the unruly social club have to exist? Because there's not a space where I and people who look like me can go out together without being harassed, or join up and learn more about the fetish and kinks communities amongst people who look like ourselves, without having white faces in it. Usually in every club that's for people of color, there are people who are of color as associates or whatever members, which is cool. I get it. However, in my club, I haven't seen a club that didn't allow anybody white in it. It's a thing, because sometimes I just don't need to be with white people all the time. I'm surrounded and inundated by white folks, as is every other Black person in America. So when I make a club, why do I have to have a club that includes them in it already when they take over everything else? So I opted not to do that. And I also didn't want to have the power of vouching as a good white person right here to me, and they say something foul around you and you're not safe in the spot. So I'm trying to make the safest spot for folks of color, especially as a non-male identified person, as a woman identified person. Usually that would be away from white women, and so they can't join my club.
Okay, all right. So any backlash?
Not so much. I'm trying to prevent it. I'm a little less vocal about that than my co-founder is. No backlash. I got some folks of color give me dirty looks. I have other clubs mad, I suppose. I don't know, but what they gonna do? Bet you can't do it like me. Psst, bet you can't do it like me. So
So you did say that people of color are eyeing you funnily, and I
yeah.
would have thought it would have been the opposite.
No. I set up when I was IMSL, I set up who I was as a Black woman and how I was about pro-Blackness, pro-brownness, pro-POC. So they already know who I was out the gate. If you see on my Facebook profile, it currently says I don't add new to me white folks. I don't want to get arrested. I am who I am. So this is nothing new. I guess this is expected that I was going to do something like this. I didn't think it was going to be received as well and people wanted it as much, but here we are.
All right. And how is it going so far? I mean, is membership, have you set it up? I know you said that you're working on the bylaws and things like that, but I know that is it a board? Is it that type of organization? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be that type of organization. We're working on the board right now. We had bylaws so people can walk around with that or a similar patch on their back to say they're part of the club. Unruly's based, more or less, I tell people Unruly's political. COVID-19 kind of put things like that on hold, but we're trying to have virtual munches because I still think the space that Unruly was trying to create is very important. I still think people need that space. But we're looking pretty good, though. We have an LA chapter. Jackie Griot of Perverts of Color is our LA chapter head. That's our first outside of LA or Bay Area spot. We got a Philly chapter. We're working on that one. I haven't announced that one yet, but the Philly head knows who they are, so we're good there. I'm working on beasting out a San Diego chapter because that's my hometown. I don't think Black girls or girls of color or non-male identified folks of color should have to leave San Diego in order to find something like this. San Diego with its whiteness. It's my hometown, but yeah. So we're working on having it's gonna be the thing to see. I promise you, it's gonna be the thing. It's the hottest thing going. Hottest thing.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to. I am in particular because again, like I said, I follow you, and as such, I'm hey, I'm deep as a shallow pond, but I do I do like what you're doing, and that's one of the reasons why I'm thrilled that you actually reached out to me to come on to the show because I was actually going to reach out to you. So we were thinking on the same wavelength, and you did mention a word that, again, we're going to educate the masses out here. And some of these words I do know, y'all. Yeah. I'm shallow, but a deep pond. I mean, a shallow pond. Munches. You said you're going to do virtual munches.
Yes.
Tell us what that is for the listening audience who's going, whoa, where can we join?
Usually, okay, so back in the day when we could meet people face to face, you'd have a meetup and you'd meet other people who are interested in probably in the fetish community as well. Feel people out. You'd look for play partners or just look for friends, whatever, to get to
Hmm.
experience people who are in your community who are like-minded. And because now we're doing this, virtually, we're doing it that way. And we're also, because of the way Unruly is set up, requires formation. When it's anybody who can be a full member of Unruly, or a non-male identified person Unruly, we're going to meet up and have a conversation. You show your face on like a Zoom chat like this. Folks talk around. We have a good time. You meet up. You see other melanated faces. You breathe some air, and maybe you flirt with people online. When this is all over, you'll have a real say, remember we flirted 15 months ago when COVID-19 was interfering, but keep it going like that.
Gotcha. We actually have someone in the comments who said that they left the leather life in DS years ago because it was draining and unsafe for Black and brown folks in Oklahoma, and they were tired of being the token. So obviously,
Mm-hmm.
there's a need for what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, maybe she'll connect with you. If
Yes, find me. I got family in Tulsa. My people's from Oklahoma City, Tulsa and Stroud. And if I know enough folks who are non-male identified in another city after vouching them, I'll get a chapter started up in your area if you give us some time.
All right, Sherry, you here? Talk to her in Tulsa. And if you're in Tulsa, do they still have that barbecue spot where they sell bologna sandwiches at midnight? I mean, if so,
Mm,
go get you one. I
mm.
mean, that's the only reason to go to Tulsa.
If I
So
didn't stop eating meat, that sounds real good. With the what?
it's
Ooh,
beautiful. Only thing I
mm,
remember about my entire trip to Tulsa was going to after the club to a barbecue joint that was open at 1 o'clock in the morning and doing barbecue bologna sandwiches.
ooh,
Uh,
mm.
it was delicious.
With the
So
red tape or without the red tape? Like, red tape.
and he was half asleep. It was beautiful though. So quick. So you say that COVID-19 is disrupting everything. How is life for you doing this? What's going on for you at home? Are you working from home? Are you still existing, going out and
Yeah.
about?
I'm existing like I'm not dependent on the economy for income right like that, so I'm kind of okay for a little bit.
Mhm.
Not stressed out yet. I go out because I'm an only child. We Taurus says that this imagination is like turned. So when I leave the house, it's always some adventure. I feel like I'm on Mad Max in the Thunderdome, riding on a doom buggy with a gun, hanging out, bopping around like this. But it's actually not that bad. It's no one on the streets, but I like to add some excitement.
Of course.
I'm sheltered in place. My nephew was here, but he went home, so he's in Virginia. So I'm sheltered in place with my husband and my dog. And then once in a blue moon, I pop up with my girlfriend every now and then, wherever that happens. So other
Hmm.
than that, that's my shelter in place, folks.
And you are in California.
I am in California. I'm in Oakland, California.
Okay. I've been. I used to live out in San Jose, so I've been to Oakland a few times. A few times. We traveled some of the same pathway.
Yep.
I'm a
Yeah.
Taurus too. I don't know. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
It's
You
looking
know,
good here. It's looking good. And Sherry said the barbecue spot still exists. So that's beautiful. So
ask me what they got. When I come through, I want a vegan bologna sandwich,
you
please.
know,
Grill barbecue.
I mean, it was delicious. 1 o'clock in the morning. Who would have expected it? So you did mention a girlfriend, and
Yeah.
I'm all in your business. Does that
Yeah.
mean that you're poly?
I don't use that term for myself. I'm monogamish. I'm monogamish. So that works better for me than poly. So yeah, I do have a girlfriend. She's quite stunning sometimes. She's quite stunning. Actually, she's quite stunning all the time. She's very pretty all the time. My
Got
nerves, but she's very pretty all the time. She knows this.
it. You're stunning all the time. See. It's early, so got
All
it.
the time.
And is she in California too?
She is in California. I'm sure she's watching this right now. You can say something, Bianca. Go ahead and say something.
Hey,
I know she's
Bianca.
watching.
Yeah, good. We should have brought her on too. Well, good. So you created this community because you felt like it was necessary, and it's growing. What do you see it in 5 years? The Unruly Social Club.
Yo, in 5 years, because that's how I always talk about the baby, like the baby's 5 years old. Unruly is going to be the hottest thing that hit the blocks and sliced bread. We're going to walk out in these spaces. It's going to be full patch members walking in. So you're going to come to a spot. You're going to be a new person to the kink community, whatever. You're not white. You're also not male. It's kind of really overwhelming. But then you're going to see this little diamond and screw patch back there. And you're going to be like, those are my people. I can talk to these folks if I want, you don't have to hang out around them, but they can give you the layout of the land and say, hey, so, and cool, you at least have an idea. And also, we're having male associates. So if you're a non-male identified person and you go to a bar populated by male folks and you see a little unruly associate, you know that dude ain't gonna be with no fuck shit because you're non-male identified. Also, as a person of color, they'll probably keep an eye out, just make sure, like I said, they don't want to be attached to you. They just want to make sure that if something goes down, they have an eye on, where you're at. And then also for just unruly membership, just the fact that I can join into sea of various shades of blacks and browns, people who look like me and walk the world just like me and navigate just like me in a safe space. And we can either come together with other folks or not, and just be able to have a collective of people who are interested in finding other people of color who are non-identified in the Cuban community, and Unruly being, the premier location for that.
Awesome. So you've mentioned quite a bit that there will not be males involved. They will be associates, but not actual members.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular? I mean, I know we've mentioned non-people of color not being allowed in. I get that. Hey, I'm a black woman in a white man's world. Why the male aspect though? Most people would have assumed, and maybe let me say me, not most people, me. I would assume that you would have just opened the door to people of color, all genders.
All genders except male, because the boys already have their places pretty much.
Okay.
The male identified folks have plenty of places for themselves exclusively where they can come in and do whatever. The non-male identified folks do not have a place that's exclusively theirs where they can vote. And there are some clubs out here, don't get me wrong, that are, women ran and operated, non-male identified run and operated. However, not in a way that Unruly has it set up, and the males, because they have access to white dollars that we sometimes overlook because we're not interested in white men like that, so we don't go to those spaces. So if they're walking around with our patch, whatever, they know they can, work on some resources to help fund, a little cute little John like Unruly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got you. So if a person wants more information about Unruly, how would they find that information?
We are on the Facebooks. You can find us at the Unruly Social Club. I believe there's some questions that need to be asked there. We also have an Instagram Unruly_social_club on Instagram. I am at girl_complex on Instagram. Bianca, who's also co-founder of the Unruly Social Club, is at Valley of the Curves on IG. I think that's it. I think we have a Twitter, Unruly Club on Twitter, and yeah.
Why the name?
Or find me on Facebook, Girl Complex. Huh?
Why the name Unruly?
Why the name Unruly? I was trying to find something because I really like the idea of like the Jets and the Sharks, something like a one-liner,
Gotcha.
like that. And then also, now that I've looked at it and what it means, I realize that we're called Unruly because it seems that all the black clubs on the land need to have white people in their club, and that is why we're unruly, because we don't allow white people in our club.
I got you. Now, I guess the big question for those who may be listening, what if you want to be a member, if you want to be, you want information, are there requirements before you even approach you? Are there things they should be interested in, or just be a black and not identify as a male?
Be black, not identify as male. Also love being black and not identifying as male, and be okay with not having white people in space. That's not for them. That's also another thing, which, it's a thing. You have to be okay with creating a space, which I struggle with sometimes, creating a space that does not allow white people. I also don't have white partners. A lot of my friends have white partners, but I'm like, you're the same for your white partner. So you have to be okay with a group that's saying, we don't need white people in our group. And if that's a lot. It's a lot making it. It's a lot being a part of that. It's a lot walking around with that badge on your back. It's a lot. But, if you can handle that, if you can, divorce yourself from white supremacy and the need for white people in your club, then by all means, bring yourself over to Unruly.
Strong words.
You know what? I got a product I believe in. I talk a lot of shit because she could back it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some strong words, but I'm with you though, and it's interesting that when I think of the words Unruly, like you said, and I'm adding everything together with what you're saying, it makes sense. That it should have been something that should have been there all along, but I produced women only events, and I've produced women of color only events, and I've had, I've gotten flack, but we're needed, and you're definitely needed in the realm that you're going in the direction that you're going in. And someone said in the comments, the last thing you need is a person who gets in a POC group and doesn't understand why their white friend or partner isn't invited. It's so weird to me, but we just have been trained. Almost from birth,
Right.
to
Yeah.
have them in the group, and
Yeah.
it's really freaking weird. And there's nothing wrong,
Right.
Other people do it all the time. We're hardly
Right.
ever invited to the table,
Right. Right.
unless we're being fetishized and stuff
Right.
like that.
So we
So,
built, and that's what we say. We don't need a table. We built our own, and we built this table out of blood, sweat, and cum. Yeah.
all right. So, okay, I'm gonna attach on that last word, what you said for me too. Is sex a part of the group? I mean, do you have to be actively involved in kink or wanting to be
No.
involved in kink?
No. You can take your time. There's no pressure. There's no requirement. You must have sex with 800 people by the time you reach this door. No. Um, Although I'm pretty sure my girlfriend would try and that make a rule, but no, Bianca, that's not a rule we're having. Um, so no, no rules like that, because I know when I was finding, for me, it was really weird, because I think when I was finding this community, I thought I needed to join the club first.
Mm-hmm.
However, I realized if I would have known what I know now, I definitely would not have joined the club first. I didn't need a club, but I love the clubs that I'm a part of. But I would have done that. But yet here I am starting a club. I don't make no damn sense. So, but whatever. Nah, it's there I is. So that's what happened. So, but it's a thing. But I also felt like, I think for me joining a club, I think maybe because the clubs didn't have exactly what I needed. I think if there's a club like the Unruly, when I was joining clubs, I probably wouldn't have had any issues coming into a club. To
Mm-hmm.
join a club with people who look, like I said, and just walk and navigate the world similar way, non-white and non-male, it's a hell of a connection. It's a hell of a connection to have. And yeah, and that's what I
Awesome.
wanted to make it just for that.
You're doing it. And I'm happy and proud that you are on my friends list. And I've been looking.
Same.
I've been looking. There's a few
Same.
people over there. I've been looking. I got to talk to the wife though. So, so tell
Send
us
me a,
again.
come join the Facebook group. I'll add you to the group.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Tell us again where we can find you and Unruly Social Club for anybody who's interested. I definitely want some Black women to really, really reach out to you and connect with you because, like you said, there just isn't any safe space out there. I see it every day. I read it. You can see it online. I got people telling me in my inbox. On my phone, everything where they need this safe space, whichever direction they want to go in. So
Yep.
please share with us once again where we can reach out to you and to the Unruly Social Club. And we see you, Bianca.
What a pretty ass. She's so pretty. You can find us at on Instagram at unruly_social_club. I'm also on Instagram at girl_complex. Bianca's on Instagram at Valley of the Curves. Oh, I think she also has Miss Rubber SF, because Bianca is the first Miss Rubber San Francisco,
All
which
right.
means my girlfriend has a little latex thing. She was, ooh. So if you want some Black curvy women and some latex, come on over with us. If you want to, I always want to try latex and we're afraid, come over here with us. We got you. Guy the Curves and Miss Rubber San Francisco 2020. We're also on Facebook. I'm a Girl Complex on Facebook, and we're at the Unruly Social Club on Facebook.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Girl Complex, for
Yeah,
coming on to Sipping on Ink
thank you.
today. And again, I apologize to everybody in the listening audience for that that early show this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time it was. But we'll be back tomorrow with our guest, Love Reigns. We're going to talk about poetry and, of course, the coronavirus and how it's affecting life and poetry and things like that. But again, today's guest was Girl Complex. You can find her on Facebook at Girl Complex. You can also find Unruly Social Club. I will also post all the links to connect with them, Bianca, and Girl Complex. And hopefully you will do that. You ain't got to tell me. Just go and join. Follow your heart or your clit, whichever one works for you.
I
And
follow my clit.
exactly. And we will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Kat, and this is Girl Complex. Y'all have a good one. Peace and love.